Hello, everyone, and welcome to Resurrecting with the Renaissance Behind the Scenes. I'm Raquel McKenzie, coming to you with another performer for a second installment. I would love to welcome all of you to T.A. Burrows. Give the people a hello, T.A.
Hello, everybody. Hope you guys are doing good and looking forward to this great project.
I am awaiting with bated breath. I cannot tell you how excited this project gets me. But before I start going on and on and on, I'd love for them to get to know you better. So tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm originally from New York City. That is my hometown. I've been an entertainer now for 45 years. Believe it or not, started out my career as a stand-up comedian. Had a very successful career doing that for about 40 years. Performed in Las Vegas, opened for a lot of named artists, and pretty much toured the world doing stand-up comedy. And then about 20 years ago, I decided that I wanted to do something else. So I started getting into singing, put together a vocal group in Las Vegas and was performing with them, a group called Skyfire. I was the lead singer. And then when I moved here to the Valley, I started doing theater. So I started doing a lot of musicals, later branched out into doing some dramas, and then got into some other aspects of theater, did choreography, also directed a couple of shows actually, here in the Valley. And so just been continuing my entertainment career since then. And now I am primarily a singer. Professional singer. I perform at a lot of different venues all over the city, as well as a lot of the senior communities, because I always feel like I was given this talent for a reason. And so it's one of the things that I think God has led me to do. And so I spend a lot of time performing for a lot of the senior communities all throughout the Valley. And I just love to sing. I love entertaining people and making them happy.
That is amazing. You have the talent, let me tell you. You all have not heard TA sing yet, but when you do, you will be transplanted to another space and time. Yes, it is that good. It's so interesting. You said that you started as a stand-up comedian first, and to me, it just sounds like you've been singing your entire life. Like your voice is so amazing. The way you capture the essence of the time is truly beautiful. So
Thank you.
I'm excited to have you on this project. Can you tell us why you decided to do the project?
Well, one of the things that I think that drew me to it, first of all, is the fact that it was the Harlem Renaissance. And being from New York, I was actually born in Harlem. And so that just kind of, I had a connection with that. And I remember reading a lot about the Renaissance and, some of the great art forms that took place during that time, involving some of our great Black artists. And it just felt like the right thing. And it just something that really intrigued me. And so I wanted to be a part of it. And, I know that music, in addition to poetry and some of the other art forms, dance and those kinds of things, music was a very big part of the Renaissance. And, there was some great music that came out of that era. And so I just felt like, what, this is something I definitely want to be a part of. So I'm just so glad and thankful that you were able to bring this project to light.
Me too. It's like it was destiny, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meant to be. It's so crazy how our lives can just fall into the right place at the right time.
Right.
I'm honored to have a talent like you, sharing your talents with the world and teaching them a little bit and entertaining them. I think it's going to be amazing. Now, speaking of the pieces, why did you pick the pieces that you picked for this particular production?
Well, in my shows, I like to do a lot of different kinds of music. I have 12 one-man shows that I do. And it's a variety of music. I do everything from 50s, 60s rock and roll to tribute shows, to standards, to jazz, to songs from the Great American Songbook. And when I started thinking about the Harlem Renaissance, I started looking at some of the pieces that I have. And there were these 4 pieces that just jumped out at me. And they just said, you know what? The songs are from the era. The songs are by artists who were prominent back during the Renaissance. And they were just pieces that I just felt like would be a perfect fit. And they're also some of my favorite songs in all the songs that I do. So, that just made it work for me.
That is wonderful. Watching you record, all I wanted to do was dance. I just wanted to put on a beautiful dress and dance every time one of your songs started. So hopefully when people watch it, they'll feel a little groove as well.
Exactly. Well,
Um,
these songs were, they are songs that people dance to, and
mhm.
they're the kind of music that not only could you just sit back and listen and chill to it, but you certainly could get up and swing.
Right. And we love that. So, last question.
Mhm.
Is there anything that maybe from the Harlem Renaissance that you have learned that you didn't know or that you know and you'd like to impart onto the audience? Uh,
Just a lot of times I think people just don't realize how impactful that period was. Um, there are a lot of artists who back then have influenced music for today. Some of the great singers back then, and some of the great artists, dancers, and musicians. Their music has continued to carry over the years, and it's influenced other artists who are hopefully keeping that same genre alive and continuing to influence new artists coming up. So I think that's the thing for me that was the most impactful, is just the what the Harlem Renaissance started,
mm.
and how it not only was a rebirth of a lot of that art, but a birth of new art that has since evolved from that.
And it's like we're trying to rebirth the rebirth again.
Exactly, exactly.
I love that time period in history because I agree with you. There's so much that I don't think people realize that we have gotten from that time period. We would be nowhere without this time in
Right,
history. It really
right,
shaped us as a country.
exactly.
So I'm excited to bring it back to life. I hope it
Yes.
inspires other people to check out more things from the Harlem Renaissance, listen to the music. Let's bring back that whole culture of elegance and
Oh
art.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, that was the whole thing. It was all about style and elegance, and
yeah.
fashion was hot. Everything about it was great.
And I love fashion. So I always said, oh, if I were to pick a time period, it probably would be that exact time period. I would have lived right
Oh yeah.
there in Harlem with all those beautiful people. And I'd probably be in the clubs just singing along and
Oh
dancing
yeah.
along.
Oh yeah. I mean, for me, I'm gonna just throw this out there, and it's a very this just I find humor in it myself. Is the fact that I got to do this, and the fact that it was the Harlem Renaissance, more than anything, one of the most important things to me was I got to wear my black and white shoes.
You did. You were styling. Yeah, there's a lot of good fashion, good music, good poetry, dance. We
Yes.
have it all. And so we're trying to show people something new,
Right.
invite them through a door that they didn't even know existed.
Yep.
So I'm so happy to have you as a part of this.
Well,
Thank you
thank you.
so much, TA.
And
You
thank you
are
for the
amazing.
opportunity.
Oh,